Well, here we go again. So the other day, I took a poll on my community page and asked you if I should go ahead and react to Asmongold's reaction of my video making his pizza and where I made my own pizza. Over 700 of you voted, and 75% of you said yes. So here I am, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to react to his video, but I'm going to fast forward through parts, just the parts where I'm cooking, and just talk about his reactions. So you already watched me cooking the video. You don't need to watch me cooking it again. So I'm going to fast forward through those parts and just react to his reactions and also answer his questions. But then I'm also going to feature some of the questions that you've had about my deep dish pizza that I made in this video. And then at the end, I'm going to feature some of the people that have been making the pizza and sending me the pictures, which is just totally humbling, and it's awesome. It's just awesome. So without further ado, let's go ahead and react to Asmongold's My $2 Pizza is in Danger. The saga continues. So I was at the grocery store the other day, and he loves I'm walking through the frozen food section. Did you know that there's more than one kind of party? I sure didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. This triple meat, that's not the one that he went with. He went with the part. Let's fast forward a little bit here to where he's talking.
Yeah, that's just it. That's the standard right here.
And I got the Kraft mozzarella.
Right.
So here we go.
So he's got pretty much the exact stuff. Like, he doesn't have the McCormick oregano, but like, it doesn't really fucking matter. It's a leaf is a leaf.
A leaf is a leaf. That's just wonderful, isn't it? So, which is a homemade pizza. Now, I know what you're saying. There's no way he would. Did you see his face there? Oh, he's like, oh God. Ever do this and make his own dough.
That's true.
But I promise you, especially if you're a gamer, you're really going to enjoy my method of making pizza dough. He just rolled his eyes at me there. You don't have to wait for it to rise in the fridge for 12 he's curious though. He's got you can just he's got the Rock's eyebrow going up there like, oh, I don't know about this, but he's curious. Throw it right in your pan, in your oven, and cook it immediately as soon as it's ready.
But you could just buy the pizza for $2 though. So I really just don't see why we're having this conversation. Like, so if there's a pizza for $2 and you just buy the pizza for $2, like, I mean, fuck.
Ready. So make sure you tune in for the. His logic is undeniable, but I'm all about flavor, and I try to make things as easy as possible. So I feel like I made my pizza as easy as I possibly could, and I even skipped a few steps to make it even easier for y'all. So the rest of the video after I make his pizza. All right. Let's get going. But there it is. I went over to my grandma's house and I asked her, can I borrow the roaster that you make the ribs in? The old school roaster.
That's exactly right. This is exactly what
a lot of people were asking, you know, why are you guys cooking this in the roaster? Honestly, is what he did, so I had to make it the exact same way. That's the only reason why that's why I chose to cook it in the roaster. It was just what he did, and so for solidarity's sake, I did it the way that he did it. That's the only reason why it was done in the roaster instead of the oven or an air fryer or a pizza toaster, whatever it is, you know.
we're looking for. This right here is the, I think my mom used to call it a convection oven or something like that. And this is what we used because our big oven was broken. Because my dad and I thought it would be a good idea to repair and replace the element in the oven while the oven was on.
Ooh. That, you know,
we broke it.
I watched this video a couple times already, to be honest with you, and that's still shocking. That they had the oven on, and I know the part that they're talking about because at my old house I had a gas range, and it was a NLG brand, and there was this part in it that would just the lighting element would go like every 6 months for some reason. So I always had to buy the lighting element and change it, and it was kind of a pain because you had to like unscrew everything to get to it. So doing that while the oven's on just blows my mind. And he's just like,
and so the oven was broken for years until we replaced it. We got a new one eventually. I can't use it, so I just use the old one. This is the one that I know how to make pizzas on.
That's all that matters. So I put it in the wheelbarrow. I didn't have it in the wheelbarrow, but I did. Oh, yeah. Another thing, a lot of people are talking about doing these in an air fryer. I think that's a great idea. An air fryer is a really quick tool. It's supposed to be healthier. I don't know if the science is still out on that or not, but whatever. I actually don't own one. We used to have an air fryer, and back then we used it quite a lot, but then we were doing some home remodeling and it got sawdust all over it. And so we ended up having to pitch it because it was just sawdust was all up in it. And so, yeah, we just pitched it and then we just never got one again. I haven't missed it, but I am curious of maybe what this pizza would taste like in a toaster oven, or in an air fryer. I bet it would be really nice and crispy.
You can see that we actually use our wheelbarrow for gardening and such. Yeah, it's a pretty dirty wheelbarrow.
Right.
There's no clothes in there, but there's dirt. So
yeah, it's about
close
right.
enough.
Looks good to me.
There we go. The oven is on the oven.
This looks authentic.
Both.
I just love how many of you are like, he even put the oven on the oven. Like, that just cracks me up. Like, it's the little things, people, the little things in life that just make us happy, isn't it?
Pepperoni party pizza and the triple meat.
I like how by the way he put, this is really good. The oven is on the oven. He put it directly on top of his oven.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure we used to have that oven. I think that's the one I broke, actually.
So close enough.
Yeah, we used to have that one.
It's so funny. So we bought our house that I'm filming in right now. We bought it May of 2022, and it was built in 1984. And I'm pretty sure everything in here is the same from 1984. Now, with the exception of the butcher block countertops that I installed not too long ago, maybe about 4 months ago or so, I put the butcher block countertops in, and I got to tell you, they're wonderful. And I did my entire kitchen in butcher block countertop for $800. So if you're looking for a cheap renovation for your countertops, I don't cut on them. I don't eat off of them. They are. I used a material called Waterlocks, which is incredible for these butcher block countertops, and these countertops are so hard. I mean, they kind of feel like granite almost, but they're just wonderful. Anyway, I'm rambling, so we'll go back to that's the only thing I changed. But the oven is still the same. I desperately want to change it, but we've got other things we need to take care of in the house before we get to the appliances.
That's the one I broke right there. There it is. I broke that up.
Come over and break mine, Asmongold, so I can give my wife a reason to get a new one.
All right, there we go. The oven is on the oven. We're gonna make both.
That's actually crazy.
Pepperoni party pizza and the triple meat, because I'm actually curious what the meat to cheese to bread ratio is on both. But we're gonna start with his.
It's because the sausages taste like shit.
I didn't think they were too
bad.
bad.
Looks good.
But I'm not sure
That's
what
delicious.
I was chewing on was
Judging
sausage
by the picture,
some sort of bioengineered meat.
Disappointed.
No, you don't have to be. See, this is exactly, and I know what he's saying. He's saying because like they act like there's a lot of pepperoni on there, and there's actually not. That's true.
Yes.
That's why you get triple pepperoni.
They have a triple pepperoni one?
And I can see why he would add.
Is the party pizza still a triple pepperoni party pizza? I'll have to go look for that.
His own pepperoni and cheese, because
they cheap out on it. It's a joke.
It is. It's. I mean, for $2,
where are they?
It's a good joke, I guess.
I see not that many, but that's.
Well, I wanted to go to the fucking grocery store and buy 10 of the normal ones.
This is good.
And then buy 10 of the triple pepperoni ones, and then pull the pepperonis off of each one and see if it's actually triple pepperoni. Because I don't think it is. I think it's like 1.5x. There's no way it's a 3x.
It kind of reminds me of, if you guys watch The Office, kind of reminds me of when Kevin Malone was talking about how he would go buy a Big Mac and then save one piece of the Big Mac every time he got a new one, and then he would have a free Big Mac at the end of it. So buying 10 of them to compare kind of reminds me of like how Kevin would make his free Big Mac. I don't know why that I don't know why that hit me in the head like that, but it did.
Oh, we had a $5 bag of pepperoni. Yes, $5.59 for this whole bag. Now you don't use the whole thing, so it's not going to add to the price that much. But on first,
110
oregano.
average. It's looking pretty good.
All
Okay.
right, oregano on. No,
cheese, yeah.
He hates cheese people, so let's make sure that we don't.
Well, we don't want to have. It's not that I hate cheese people, but like, I have never.
You can see how he got kind of uncomfortable when I accused him of hating cheese people. As if there's people made of cheese.
This might upset some people.
Oh boy.
I've never seen a person who eats cheese just by itself who wasn't a fat ass.
He knows this isn't true. He's just look at the look in his face right here. Now I eat cheese by itself. I weigh like 182. You know, I got a decent belly, but I don't know if I'm a fat ass. You know, I wouldn't consider myself a fat ass, but you know, that's me talking. But yeah, I can't agree, but he has his own opinions, and they're great. I don't know what to tell you.
Ultimate cheeseburger. Yeah, I think this is for that's just how it is. Like, I'm sorry, but like, it's just what it is.
Too much cheese. I am a cheese person, and I bet if we met that we'd probably get along. That's just my guess.
Sure.
There we go.
See,
That
he's
looks
open to
like a good amount of cheese for a
You
non-cheese
can like
person.
cheese and
I
not
would have gone
eat it
quadruple,
by
probably.
itself.
Because if I were a piece of cheese, I would eat myself. Hopefully there's no gray pepperoni.
He didn't react to that, which I thought he would.
Bomb
He
this
would.
city.
They actually turn green. Yeah, they turn green, and then like the side of the like the package turns gray. It's kind of like a weird thing.
is
I've had this
strange.
happen like many times.
I've never seen it, and I hope I never do.
We bombed this city. I really love pepperoni. I was just on
Yeah.
vacation. We had this conversation about pepperoni pizzas.
Okay, I need to
Nobody
clarify
wants
what
just
is
a
being said here.
pepperoni pizza.
I do.
At least this was the
I do.
discussion at the beach. So nobody wants just a pepperoni pizza, but everybody orders just a pepperoni pizza because everyone thinks that everyone will eat just a pepperoni pizza.
They will.
I'm not sure where the conversation ended, but that's
Okay, so what I was talking about here is there was like a group of like 18 of us, and we were trying to order pizza, but we were just trying to decide what everyone wanted on their particular pizzas. And then the conversation kind of drifted from that to, why does everybody just order a pepperoni pizza when all of us had our own idea of what kind of pizza we wanted to order? So it was like a group ordering kind of conversation. If that helps context at all for that, I don't know. I mean, I love a pepperoni pizza. I would rather have extra cheese, pepperoni, and mushrooms. That's just me. Like, I would rather have that than just a pepperoni pizza, but I would absolutely eat just a pepperoni pizza, just to clarify here.
that's pretty much it right there.
How many times y'all ever had a pizza party
And
at
he's
work
right
or
about
like
this part.
fucking school or something like that, and they order a cheese pizza and there's like pepperoni pizza and like a sausage pizza? Nobody eats, like, there's always leftover cheese
I would eat the
pizza. There's
sausage pizza.
always leftover sausage pizza. There's never leftover pepperoni pizza. Every fucking time.
He is right about that. He is right about that.
All right, now that is
Yep.
a masterpiece, if I say so myself.
it looks really
Let's turn
good.
This
That's
oven
amazing.
on the oven to 400.
Yeah, I don't even know where to turn it up to.
Oh, I gotta plug it in. I had to move the oven onto
He
the
says he puts it
countertop
at
because
400.
The cord is on this side and the plug is over there, and I couldn't. The plug's
I
not
had
long
to.
enough. So
It is
there
what
we
it
go.
is.
Yep,
Plugged in.
it is what it is.
Should we discuss the cobwebs? I'm not gonna put cobwebs on mine because this daddy ain't gonna eat any cobwebs.
No, the thing is, like, look, I didn't even have, I didn't really eat the cobwebs. They were just on, guys, look.
I love his acting here because he's really playing it up for us. Like he feels it in his gut, but he's also playing it up a little bit, I think. Now, the whole cobweb situation, like, is so funny that a lot of people are like, you did it wrong, you dipshit. You didn't put cobwebs in it. It's like they're so passionate about the cobwebs. And yeah, I'm not going to eat cobwebs. Yeah, that's just it. I'm not going to eat cobwebs, or I'm not going to put them on my stuff. It's just I'm not gonna.
They were just on the grate. Like that's it's not like I was eating them. It's not like I put them on like it was flavor. It wasn't seasoning. It just happened to be there.
No matter how good they taste. Now this may affect the final product, seeing as how I'm putting tinfoil on the bottom.
I'll
because
explain
this is
too.
my grandma's.
I thought I explained it
if
well
you
enough.
got a grandma and she's a big cooker, like an Italian one like mine, and I were to get burnt pizza crust on the bottom of this, you know what my fate would be. You'd never see me again. So
What would be the problem with the pizza? Because I mean, you're not eating it off. You're not eating it. Like,
It's not a matter of eating it off of it. It's a matter of getting it on it. Right? So my grandma cleans everything like to a T. And that's just the way she is. And if I were to bring back her oven dirty or with some burnt on pizza crust, she'd be like, I'm never letting you borrow that again. you know? And sometimes, and I have borrowed it in the past when we have like big parties where I'm making like 16 racks of ribs. That's only happened once, actually. And this is actually a great way to do a bunch of rack of ribs at a time. You fill it up with beer and you put them in there. It's beside the point. But yeah, I didn't want to get, and I knew cooking his pizza for an hour would result in a ton of burnt cheese on the bottom of this. So that's why I did it on the foil. That's just it. Okay.
Problem. I don't.
And I didn't want to struggle clean it.
I never
You know when
put that shit underneath it. Dirt on the stove. Don't eat it. Don't eat the dirt. What are you doing eating dirt?
His logic is undeniable. Don't eat the dirt.
I'm putting foil on the bottom, but he cooks it for
But if there's no dirt, it's not a problem either.
an hour, so it's gonna be fine. All right.
Yeah.
We've got one pizza in. All right. There's even less meat on this.
See, they fuck you, don't they? They fuck you. See, it used to never be like this, by the way.
How many execs from Totino's ended up watching this series? Like, I really hope it reached them. It had to have. I mean, for as many views as he has on his channel, for as many times as this has been shared from my channel, from his channel to other people's channels, and then other people are reacting to his video, not just me. So many other people are doing this. Like, it had to reach somebody in the realm of Totino's, right? And like, what... I want to know what their response is. Like, how can we get their response from the comments made here? I would love to hear it. Like an open letter to Totino's kind of style. I'm not telling everybody to go like, harass everybody at Totino's, but maybe just start tagging them.
Well, let me show you something. See, back in the fucking day, I'll show you this. Back in the fucking day, it used to be a bigger pizza. Look. See, it used to be circular.
I'm not so sure if it was actually bigger.
It was way bigger.
It's hard to tell by those pictures.
Way fucking bigger. And then just eventually, they just shrunk it down, and they took the Wendy's route, and they made it a square.
That's good.
They were way bigger, man. Look how much bigger this pizza was. Look how much more pepperoni this was.
What's the net weight on those ones? Let's look it up. Here are the images here. And we can go by net weight, and that should give us the idea. So 10.2 ounces. All right. And there it is in the box, too, because they used to come in a box, not just in a plastic bag. All right, here's another one. Let's double check this one, too. Yeah, 10.7 ounces. Okay. That looks like a smaller one. Here's this one. This one definitely looks old. 10.2 ounces. Okay. So 10.2 ounces, and then where's the new one? Here's the new one. I love how there's a whole review. Of course there is. Can I see this? 10.2 ounces it looks like. So judging by the weight, unless they're, fibbing here, judging by the weight, it's the same exact weight of the pizza of the old pizzas, just a different shape. I don't know. Maybe something to think about there.
You see that? See how many pepperonis that was?
Now that does look like a lot
Look
more
at this. This is what it used to be. It's cheaper though. No, it's not. These used to be literally, who remembers, 89 cents.
I don't remember that, but I believe them. because my Tony's pizzas were always $1.
89 motherfucking cents. And that was less than 10 years ago. Look at this. Look how big this was. Absolutely massive.
See, now maybe that's a different one than the pictures that I looked at, though.
So look at this
one.
See, it doesn't even fucking fit. And then back in the day, you had this. It would fit on the entire plate.
Look larger.
See, they think they're fucking pulling some geometry shit. I can tell immediately what's happening. I could see immediately that we were getting fucked. All right, roasting him to catch an animal and turn it into a pizza and eat it? Okay, sure. So the rat got in there and it died. And so I was like, man, this smells really bad. We've got to deal with this problem with the dead rat in that room.
He looks so young.
So I closed the door. I used to use a dead rat as an alarm clock. Whenever the sun would come up, it would start cooking the corpse of the rat, and then the smell would wake me up. And I stabbed the rat. So anyway, I go back. This is like 5 or 6 years later. I'm going to clean up this room.
Let's just talk about how great his editors are. I don't know if he edits these videos by himself. Judging by the quantity of videos that he puts out on a daily basis, I'm guessing that he probably has an army of editors. But let's just pause for a second and thank them for the job that they do putting all this stuff together, because well done.
No, it sounds a great idea. We'll see what animals Maya has, and maybe we'll try to get one of those.
I'm not sure what that means. Tell me in the comments.
Inflation's a bitch. Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous.
This one. Now this one also has sausage, Canadian-style bacon. Ooh, we talked about that. Yep. Ground pork and pepperoni, seasoned pork, chicken, and beef pizza. We're going to add our oregano.
Chicken and beef.
It is weird that they add chicken.
I have a tendency to go overdo it, so I got to stop myself
that's
right
fine,
there.
That's fine.
Pepperoni in the oven.
That looks very good.
And
almost.
Oh shit! Ooh, that's hot. Wow. We've got two pizzas in our...
It honestly, it was shocking how hot it was. I mean, yeah, I turned it up to 400 degrees, but I was like, when I brushed it with my finger, and I've got some pretty, heat tolerant hands. It was shocking.
Oven top oven.
Yeah, little fun fact is, like, if you if you're on the struggle bus, if you get one of these ovens, it'll save you a lot in electricity, I'm pretty sure, and it also is like really cheap.
I can't back up that claim that it saves you on electricity. One thing I can say is that if you plug multiples of these kinds of ovens in, along with like slow cookers just in general, if you put them on the same socket, a lot of times if you're cooked for a long period of time, a lot of times you'll blow that circuit and you'll have to go unplug them, reset them, and put them on different circuits. So I'm not sure what they draw as far as electricity compared to an oven. I'm sure it's got to be less, but maybe the amperage is just more when you...
Like, you get one of these things for like $40 now. Rather than like spending like $400 or like 200, like, I mean, probably like, how much is an oven now? Like, I don't even know.
Now, I've been shopping for ovens, so I can confidently tell you that a electric oven, electric range, is going to cost you anywhere in the range of 400 way up. I mean, unlimited possibilities here. But if you want like a decent one with some I wouldn't even call them bells and whistles, but some decent options, you're going to be around the $800 range. Okay, that's pretty much where you're going to be. Gas is a little bit different. Gas ranges are, you can get a little bit more options for a little bit less money. That's just, I don't know why. That's just the way it is.
How much is I think it's like $400, right?
If you can still buy a gas range places. That's
like, I know it's $2K at Home Depot, but I'm talking about like some fucking... It's 400, like so yeah, it's like 400 or 500.
You can get a plain oven for 400.
Like, and that's a piece of shit, but it works.
Close the lid for an hour. What you're going to need for this no-rise pizza
here we go.
Is 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. You can use bread flour also. 2 1/4 teaspoons
Didn't they find that in the White House?
Yeast, which usually equates to about one
They sure did.
Of this kind of stuff. Okay.
Okay. Yes, this is a lot of yeast. Now, 2 1/4 teaspoons really isn't that much. It's instant yeast. Okay, so it's got different properties than your long drawn out yeast. I can't think of the name of it, but so it's got different properties in it. So it's not going to so it doesn't last as long as far as the fermentation process goes, right? So it's going to expend its energy much faster. So having a lot of it isn't the same as the other types of yeast. Okay, so adding just one packet to this amount, this is going to make a lot of dough. And for the size pan I used, it's actually too much dough. It would have been much better in my 12-inch cast iron skillet or my 14-inch cast iron skillet, which is another question a lot of people had. If you use a larger skillet, then you would have gotten a thinner crust and a little bit more more evenly dispersed around the edges of the pan, right? So, and I do mention that in the video, I would have used a larger one, but my larger ones don't fit on the pellet grill that I was using because of the handles on them. The size by themselves would have fit, but the handles would have stuck out and I wouldn't be able to close the grill, and then it just wouldn't have cooked right. So that's why I used the pan that I did, and hope that explains the amount of yeast that I used.
Just want like one package, just toss it in there, but measure it if you want to. You want
So you
a
put
teaspoon
sand in there.
of sugar
Yes.
and a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin
mustard.
olive oil, and 3
Where's he get his mustard that it looks like that?
cup of warm water, about 110 degrees. If you don't have a gooseneck
Warm
kettle,
water? Why the hell would you want warm water?
Okay,
fancy.
so you want warm water because it's going to activate the yeast faster. Okay, we're trying to do a really quick rise here with very limited time in between. So the warm water will activate the yeast much faster. When you activate that yeast with warm water mixed with the sugar, it's going to eat those sugars and try to ferment and blow up your dough much faster. Okay, so that's the reason you want warm water. Cold water would stall that process. Hope that answers that question.
like that, don't worry, just run your warm water under your finger. You don't want it to burn your finger, okay? That's way too hot. You just want
Another
it to
way you could do
basically
this, if you have a meat thermometer, just hold your meat thermometer under your sink and just let the water go over it until it gets to like 105 to 110. You're good. I realized after watching this, like I said earlier, I've got some pretty heat tolerant fingers. So this may not be the same for you, but if you have a meat thermometer or if you have some sort of kettle that you can program the temperature on, even better.
like you don't feel any heat at all or any cold at all. Okay, now we're gonna take all those dry ingredients, take a whisk or a fork or a spoon, I don't care what it is, or use your mixer if you want, and just mix it all up. And while you're mixing it, start to think about all the game developers that have done you wrong in the past.
There's many, I know.
Just start building
So
up.
he really wants you to put a lot of work into it, a lot of energy. Basically, like beat this shit out of this yeast.
He gets it.
That modern warfare style anger.
Now, the reason I said modern warfare anger, I don't actually play that game, but my teenage son does. And I know when he's playing modern warfare because of the level of anger I hear in his voice when he's screaming. It's just another level. I don't know how else to describe it other than, oh, he's playing Call of Duty again.
Mix away and let your anger build.
And I don't play that game because
that anger
I'd rather be happy.
Here. After you've got your dry ingredients mixed up fairly well, you just want to basically create like a little well in the middle, okay? And now you're going to take your olive oil, put it right in the center, and then you're going to take 3/4 of a cup of your warm water. Out. Yeah. You may have to dig in there with your hands.
I'm so glad that so many of you resonated
with. We know this. Oh, it's nice and
with the
warm.
gaming.
Yeah.
It is satisfying. I saw some comments saying that,
like, I actually think we may
like,
need
no, it's not satisfying because your hands get dirty. But if you've ever done, like, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but if you're ever like working in the dirt, like planting or just working out in the yard, I find that really satisfying. My wife absolutely loves it. It's like her favorite thing to do. And I don't know, I like to be in the woods. I like hiking and stuff like that. I wish I did it more. I don't know. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. Somebody commented saying that you get dough in your fingernails. I really didn't have that experience.
Add a little bit more warm water, a little touch of olive oil.
Yeah, there's not enough liquid.
Yep, he's right.
A dab of water.
See, he knows.
A little bit goes a long way at this point.
So I guess like the I guess like the benchmark is like making sure that all of the flour is stuck to the the main thing.
Anger is building. Really?
Yeah. So, and this changes no matter how evenly you measure your dough. Okay, like any baker, every time that they get their recipe for whatever they're baking down, like to a pure science, the water ratio, the liquid ratio doesn't always pan out. Like sometimes they have to add more, sometimes they have to add more flour because of the liquid ratio. And I don't know what the reason for that is. I'm not a baker, but it's just a part of baking. Like you just have to adapt and adjust. Yeah, that's all.
Starting to get angry at Bungie at this point.
Oh yeah, because they ruined
a little bit of flour.
I watched his video that he reacted to Astacross's video about the silver and how Bungie pretty much ruined the game with it. But and it was great. So I'm glad he watched that before I said this, because I feel like maybe he wouldn't have known, because I don't think he's a Destiny player, right?
Plop it on that flour.
Right.
To get mad. Let
See, look at the
fucking
anger.
artifact weapons.
I love how he just starts blowing it up.
Random drop Legion legendaries.
Activision. Bungie, give me every
He enjoys
ounce
this.
of silver back
Fucking
that I
Smilegate Lost Ark
wholeheartedly
ruined
and
it.
willingly gave to you.
AGS wouldn't listen to me during New World.
Now I know he says he's gonna make my pizza, and I hope he has like an entire script planned, because I know he's got way more experience in games, especially games being ruined, right? So I want to really, really hear who he goes off on. How about you?
Was able to participate
They
in
fucked
your
up the
fashion
game.
show. Yep.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is starting to feel good. You got to give this a try.
Dark
Subscribe
Souls
for the
2.
anger. It's starting to really soften up. Now we don't want to make our dough too hard.
This was quite fun
and
to
I
make,
think that
just so
is
you know.
good. Okay. One more smack for Bungie for good measure. Okay, there we
It
go.
felt good.
Uber
All right,
unique.
there's our dough. Okay, now this is a cast iron pan. We're gonna take.
He's got a
Why
lot of
do
questions
people
about
have cast iron?
It's the best.
What's the difference? Why do people have cast iron?
So I love cast iron, and here's why. When you season it properly, it is very non-stick, and there's no chemicals involved. Okay. It's much easier to clean, and I'll explain why he's going to love this recipe in the cast iron after in a little bit, because of the cleaning process, especially for this pizza. So I love cast iron because it distributes the heat evenly. It holds the heat extremely well. So if you're making a steak, or if you're making a cheeseburger or anything like that, like proteins, it cooks so beautifully, and you don't need to constantly adjust your heat on your stove. Like you can actually turn the heat off on your stove after you flip your burger. It's going to hold that 400-degree temperature for like the next 10 minutes, and it's just going to cook your burger for you, and your stove is off. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful device. You can put it over a campfire. You can put it over an open fire. You can put it over coals. You can put it in coals. I mean, it's just a wonderful, wonderful cooking device. That's all there is to it.
It's heavy.
Yes, it is very heavy. Yes.
See, like, y'all want to know, like, maybe like a weird thing for me?
Oh boy.
Is like any pan that's like non-stick, I don't want to cook off of it because I feel like it's chemicals.
He
It's
misunderstands
like,
here. It's okay.
I don't think it's normal. It's not natural.
Cast iron does have that look that that non-stick pans sometimes have with the Teflon coating. There is no Teflon whatsoever in cast iron pans. There's no chemicals. It is just iron. Okay? And there's also carbon steel pans, which some people actually actually like those even more. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm not going to get into that now. But just so you know, carbon steel is also wonderful.
I mean, maybe I'm crazy. Like, yeah, well, I mean, look, I'm not. Other way around.
Yeah, other way around.
Cast iron is the most natural. Maybe I should get one of these then.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I should. That's a good idea. Straight fucking iron. So that way you're making it the way that like dwarves used to make it
Yes.
back in the Middle Ages.
Yes. Who wants to see Asmongold cooking over an open fire like in ancient times with his giant sword on his hip? Come on.
style
Aren't the
pizza.
Detroit style pizzas the really thick ones that burn your mouth
Yes.
whenever you bite into them?
Yes. But he may also be thinking of a hot pocket. No, but yes, the Detroit pizza. If you don't let it cool, it's going to light your face on fire. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I had those.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the olive oil will creep up the sides and underneath the dough and make like a fried dough underneath. Okay, and now we're gonna take our
A lot of people
dough.
were commenting that that's so much oil. Yes, it is a lot of oil, but the dough is going to absorb it like you wouldn't believe. So the dough is still kind of on the dry side, and it's going to soak up that olive oil and hopefully become super crispy all over the bottom of the crust. You want that extra oil. And there are three things that I don't debate. I don't debate religion, I don't debate politics, and I don't debate cooking oils. There are a lot of people that have an aversion to cooking with olive oil. All that I'm going to say on that is that olive oil has been misrepresented greatly in whatever community. That's all I'm going to say about that. There is a ton of information out there, and I will put a couple links in the description of the video that maybe will help people understand saturated fats versus polyunsaturated fats a little bit more and the stability contained within. That's all I'm going to say on that topic. I won't even reply to comments about cooking oils. That's just it. I hope you understand.
And plop it right in the middle there, okay? Just spread that oil around. We're just going to use our knuckles and just form our pizza into here. Let that crust creep up the side.
And it does. With all that
like I
olive
said,
oil
this
in it,
isn't a
it
fancy
does creep
pizza.
up
We're not using a
very
rolling
easily.
pin. We're not throwing our dough up in the air and spinning around all fancy like.
You don't need
We're
to.
just smashing
Most
dough
pizza stores
into a
don't
cast
even do
iron
that.
pan.
If they
Yeah,
do,
so
it's
we're gonna
mainly
make
for
kind of like
show
a deep
with an
dish.
open kitchen.
Okay. Is that so the yeast can have like the chemical reaction?
Yep.
I'm assuming it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And the warm water.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of other questions on the yeast rising. So some people asked, I usually let my yeast, or some people commented, I usually let my yeast rise in the oven at a low temperature. That's another way to do that. You can absolutely do it that way. It doesn't take as long as the 12 to 24 hour slow proof in the fridge. So if you wanted, you could totally let this dough rise covered in your fridge for 12 to 24 hours. It will absolutely be great. And in most cases, it would be better, just so you know. So if you give it that time to actually ferment and proof slowly in the fridge, those gluten structures are going to form and they'll be extremely relaxed. Your dough is going to be huge. You just have to kind of puncture it a little bit, and then you can divide it up. So you'll actually be able probably to make 2 or even 3 pizzas out of one dough from letting it proof for that long. Okay. But if you let it proof in your fridge for that long, you will get a better flavor from the bread. Just so that's known. But this is not about flavor. This was about speed.
That's getting there, but it's not ready.
Okay, now I'm gonna cook my pizza on my grill. So I'm using a pellet grill that I can just set to 450 degrees. But if you're gonna...
Here are other questions. Okay, I'm glad I'm doing this because as I'm watching this, I'm remembering your comments and I'm remembering your questions. So I cooked it on the grill because number one, I love grilled pizza. But number two, I also love wood-fired pizza. And if you've ever gone to a restaurant that has like a wood-fired pizza oven, it's a flavor that you will always remember, right? And some people were like, how dare you cook a pizza on the grill? And honestly, if those people have ever had a wood-fired pizza, they know. So, and charcoal or pellets or anything like that will give it that smoky, charred kind of taste, and it's quite incredible. So that's why I cook it on the grill. It adds another depth of flavor to the pizza, and I'm all about stacking flavors on top of each other and combining them. That's what I'm about. It's what I'm all about.
Use your oven, just set it to 450 degrees. Let it preheat for these 10 minutes while our dough rests. I'm using a grill because it's my pizza and I love grilled pizza.
You cook your pizza
now, this
however you
dough,
want.
what you should also know is not a high heat style dough.
Right. Okay, there were other questions on this. What is a high heat style dough? High heat style doughs have more water in them than they do oil. That's pretty much how it is. there's a great resource you can go check out. It's by Maraforni. I'll link to them in the description. They make custom pizza ovens, and they actually have a thing that chefs go to called Pizza University. And it's not like an Andrew Tate kind of thing, but it's an actual university that they go to, and they learn how to make high heat doughs. They learn how to use the pizza ovens properly. They learn how to top the pizzas properly. It's an incredible place. The guy that I interview on my podcast that I'm coming out with, Chef John Boquin, he actually went to Pizza University, and his pizzas are fantastic because of it. So I'll link to them in the description below. Check out their website. They make incredible pizza ovens that no one can afford, but they're incredible.
If you're going to use a fancy pizza oven like my Wildfire grill,
Wildfire cooks at 1,000 degrees.
Like an Uni or a Gosney or one of those things that cooks at like 700, 800, maybe even 1,000 degrees like the Wildfire does, this is not the dough. It's toppings. Now,
it's kind of like focaccia. So if you ever had focaccia, it's like an Italian bread, but it's usually seasoned with garlic and rosemary or thyme, things like that. But it's this dough is kind of like a focaccia, kinda like 10%. That's all.
Local brand to where I
Great
live,
sauce.
Stanganelli's. You can
If you
probably
can order
buy
it online,
I like
I
their
highly
Sicilian
suggest
sauce for my pizzas.
Okay.
I'd probably say 3 spoonfuls. We'll add more.
I feel like that sauce is a little bit watery.
It's thin.
I guess that might
because
be
it's real.
different. Usually whenever I see sauce like that, it's much thicker.
Yeah. So a lot of other companies, for reasons of shelf life, put a lot of different things in their sauces. That's all I'll say on that. But whenever I make homemade sauce, we use my grandma's recipe, and I kind of make it my own a little bit. This is pretty much the consistency. Mine's maybe a little thicker, but I put meats and things and stuff, so that changes the consistency because of the fat content within the sauce.
Oh yeah, this is looking good.
It's
and over here
natural.
we've
Yeah,
got,
I don't know.
Olive oil in there too, so we don't want to make too much of a soggy bottom here. Now I'm going to use the same mozzarella in the middle, and
Now, you will save a lot of money and add a lot of flavor to your pizzas if you buy the fresh blocks of cheese. Now, if you buy a fresh block of low moisture, it's got to be low moisture, mozzarella, and shred it yourself, you will save so much more money than buying it out of the bags like this. And it will taste a lot better, and it will melt in a whole different way. You'll get a much more rich flavor because it won't have that powdery coating that they put on these shredded cheeses. So if you want to save money and do a little bit more work yourself, buy a huge block and shred it yourself.
If you've watched many of my videos, you know that I'm a double cheese kind of guy. I would, anytime I order a pizza, I order it with double cheese. Always. No different here. Now we're going to take Jack cheese. Now Jack is much lower moisture.
Even lower than low moisture.
And we're going to
mozzarella.
stuff it on top of this crust here.
So the low moisture Jack on here reacts with the olive oil as it creeps up the sides, and I also top it with olive oil, and that creates the Maillard effect. It's the effect of when heat and oil and fats and amino acids cook and then become a little bit charred, and that is an absolute flavor boost to everything you cook. So if you can have the Maillard reaction on your pizza, do it.
Just load that around, piled on top of that crust. Now, as it cooks,
Won't that burn it?
it's going to melt. The olive
That's
oil
the
is
idea,
going
but
to
it's not
sneak
burnt.
up the side of the pan and fry that cheese into the crust.
Right.
And we're going to get a slightly charred up fried cheese,
That's smart.
crusty crust. Just a dab of Italian seasoning. Now, I like it above the cheese because I like the visual of those particles of yum on my pizza. Just like
I do
him,
too.
we want total.
That's like my whenever we make our pasta sauce, this is actually in the recipe that my wife wrote down. You want enough dried herbs in the pasta sauce to be able to see them, and she wrote them down as particles of yum. So that's why I call them particles of yum.
Coverage of pepperoni, and then one to cover that.
Yeah,
We're just gonna take our olive oil, and we're just gonna drizzle it right over the edge, just to add a little bit more.
It's so much flavor.
Pizzazz.
A lot of calories.
Here we go. Oh God. Okay.
That's ready. You can tell that it's ready because it's burnt.
Honestly,
Yeah.
after
I never
an hour,
get
expected it to be
tired of him
totally
saying that.
and
You
utterly
can tell it's
charred
done
up.
because it's
That is
burnt.
not.
No,
So-
no, it's not, because you have to. The way you do it is you cook it at a lower temperature, because like this is the reason why I have it to where I cook it for a long period of time. Is that like I will go upstairs and I will forget about the pizza.
He
Like there's
he
never
could
been
just put that oven in his upstairs room. He could.
a time that I've made a pizza and I've remembered that I was making a pizza. So I cook it on a lower temperature, so there's a larger window of fuck up radius where like I can fuck up and it's like, oh, you messed up the
It's
pizza.
good logic.
It's
I mean,
not
he
a big
knows
deal,
himself,
right?
so-
Because you've got like a 10-minute window rather than like a 5-minute window. I've cooked black pizzas before. I remember like the first time Izzy came to visit and she was staying here, we actually I thought, you know what? We gotta, it's a girl living at the house. We're gonna get her a nice pizza, and so I got a new pizza
get her
and
a
I cooked
nice
it in the
pizza.
oven. Bro, I burnt the fuck out of that shit. I think you can only eat like one piece. She was pissed. Yep, black pizza. There it is.
Oh boy.
Well, maybe there's a trick with this oven, being that it's more for like a slow cooker oven, even though it's at 400
Yeah,
degrees.
holds the moisture.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
Let's pull it out
Look
and
at
cut
that.
it up.
Delicious. It's amazing. Oh my god,
There
that's
we
so
go.
good.
This
Look at
is
that.
the pepperoni. This is
Holy
the
shit,
triple
bro.
meat.
Like, look at that. Oh my god, it's so good. Wow.
I do like this angle because it
That
shows
is
the,
a
cool
pizza,
for
John.
just a
crisp,
minute.
the crunch
and
That
on
is
the
a
end.
fucking
this
pizza.
without slicing
Yeah.
any internal organs on our torso. While his pizza's cooling, let's put ours on the grill.
So I know he makes a comment here soon, and a lot of you did as well. Why didn't I put pepperoni over the, like, from edge to edge? So I want the flavor of the fried cheese more than I want that pepperoni on there, because if I put the pepperoni over the cheese, it needs the air in order to become crispy underneath. That pepperoni covering it would add the oils from the pepperoni, and those oils would not allow the cheese and the crispiness to happen the way that it does. So that's the reason why I don't cover that edge up. Now I could have put more pepperoni and just gone right to the edge, sure, but that's the reason why I did it the way I did. And if you use the larger pan like I suggested, you would get even more pepperoni.
So you wait, what? Wait, hold up, what?
We're gonna close that
Wait,
damper.
what
This is
the
my pellet
fuck?
grill.
There we are.
Are you kidding me?
Beautiful.
His reaction is like, wait, what? Okay, now this pellet grill is actually battery powered. It lasts like 15 to 20 hours on a single battery. It's a cooking beast. It's wonderful. And I'm actually using pecan pellets here. So I'm getting like pecan smoke, wood smoke, with the pizza. So it's a little sweeter smoke.
Go to sleep for 15 minutes. Ooh. There it is.
That is fucking delicious. Look at that. That's amazing.
The Asmongold $2 pizza. A little trick when you're cutting your pizza, start from the center.
It's true.
So you don't
Sometimes I
destroy
forget,
that
though, as you saw in my
beautiful
Mexican pizza video.
caramelized crust.
I don't eat the crust.
Oh yeah, that is nice and crunchy. There we go. 4 equal pieces of pepperoni.
I don't know that I would call this even a crust,
Okay,
really.
bottoms up.
Here
The
we
whole
go.
thing is crust.
It's not bad.
I know. See, that's the funniest
He's
thing.
so victorious right here. Hang on one second. I need to rewind his reaction there.
Oh.
Watch it.
It's not bad.
I know.
I know.
See, that's the
victory.
funniest thing. Is that the only person who said the pizza was bad? I want y'all to keep this in mind. The only people that said it was bad was Peach Jars and Jessica Negri.
I'm not sure who they
After Ms. Kiff intentionally made my pizza bad
Oh, I'll have
to
to go
make
look that
himself
video up. I
look
didn't
good
realize he
on
did
his
that.
video to show off. Because bro, he put more butter on that pizza than you're supposed to eat in an entire
Oh,
year.
he's talking about a steak video.
Or no, that was a steak. That's right. Yeah, it was a steak, not pizza. What was I thinking? Yeah, steak. That shit made me so mad.
It's not bad at all.
It really
It's a
wasn't.
little on the chewy side.
It
but
is.
whether it's genius or an accident, cooking in that other oven in the roaster may be the best way to do a pizza
Efficient?
like this.
No.
I don't
That's
know.
because it cooks it like I feel like this is what happens, right? Is like if you cook it at a higher temperature in like a normal oven, what ends up happening is that the outsides get overcooked and the insides get undercooked. And that's why, you know, I think cooking it in a smaller oven is just simply better.
Holds moisture.
Because you can cook it at a lower temperature and then make sure that the entire coverage of the pizza is equal.
Oh, you tell me in the comments. You might be onto something here, and I'm going to have to explore more
it's really
into the
good.
science of the roaster with pizzas. Maybe with some other
It's true.
foods.
I am interested in this, in doing
Not
more
bad at all.
pizzas.
Let's
in the
try this
roaster.
other pizza.
Like homemade pizzas.
Also,
It did have a good crunch. Like it almost reminded me like if I make a pizza with croissant rolls, which may or may not be coming, that I would get a very similar effect of a Totino's.
not bad. Even this like warty looking burnt part.
don't eat
Let's give
that
that a
part.
taste.
I would not even eat that. I'd break that off.
It actually wasn't
I'm a
bad.
believer, people.
Like
You know-
I'm what I say here about the lasagna. If you know, you know. It is a real treat when you get that piece. Sometimes we fight over that piece.
When you get homemade lasagna and you get the burnt part of the noodle on the corners, if you know, you know. Kind of reminded me of that. It's $4. I mean, that's pretty much what he has into this pizza.
Yeah.
I wonder what the longest period of time that he ever cooked one in and when he forgot it is.
So about 2 hours.
So he's looking up and to the left.
And
so he's
what
being
happened
creative
is
with
that
his
we
response as
had,
well.
yeah, 2 hours. So what happened is that this was not, the black one that I have is not the first one. My mom had one from like the 80s that we were using until we replaced it. And the oven was so bad that like at the time that it was like kind of, like 80, it was like a 30-year-old like, portable oven like that. And we got rid of it and we had to get the new one because it stopped working. But I was able to turn it up all the way and it could just barely cook the pizza, but it took 2 hours.
I'm going to have to ask my grandma how old her roaster. You know what? I'm going to text her right now. Hi, Grandma. How many years have you had your roaster for? Okay, we'll see if she gets back. Of the silence.
Let's see how this baby's doing.
All right,
It's
let's
been
see it.
about 15 to 16 minutes, somewhere around there. Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm gonna be real. I would have put way more pepperoni on that shit because, like,
Yeah. So this is what happened here. Like I said, this pan is too small, so the dough lifted up too much. So while I was making it and the dough was raw, it looked like the pepperoni went to the edge of the cheese crust, and then it lifted. And then so it kind of pulled the pepperoni in, pushed the cheese crust out. And so if you use a larger pan, and you can absolutely use your oven, that's another question. Just set it to 450, do the same exact thing, okay? If you use a larger pan, you'll get the ability to put more pepperoni all the way to the edge without covering the cheese crust. So a larger pan, 12 to 14 inch. 14 inch would be ideal for this dough.
I would want to have more pepperoni on the edge.
And you'd get it.
See, our crust has really risen up. Now, if I would have used a larger pan, I probably
say
would
it
have
right
gotten
there.
a little bit more even distribution of my
I feel
crusty
like
crust.
also, like, I bet if you put bacon bits on that, it would be really good.
Sure.
You know, like the
There's no rules.
ones that you get in the refrigerator and shit. I bet you could probably put that on there, and if you do it on the grill, that'd be good as fuck.
Yep.
But let's check and see how. All right, we've got
He's
we've
thinking.
got a ways to go on our crust. So let's give it another 10 minutes.
Yeah, it hasn't like fully.
Bada bing.
Yeah.
I think that the way that you tell if it's like ready is if it separates from the edge, right?
Yep.
Separates from the edge of the pan.
Yep. And depending on
Just
the,
see the
temperature
fried
of the
cheese
dough.
along the side. Okay, take
There's
two
also
spatulas,
color, yeah.
one on each side,
Okay. Yep. There it is.
I mean,
and carefully
like butter.
lift it right out of the pan.
Okay, now here's another question. So, cleaning and care of cast iron. Now, the greatest part about this pizza, about cooking this pizza in here because of the olive oil and it just coming right out of the pan, is this pan is not dirty now. Wipe it out. The oil that's in that pan and the fats left from the cheese and the pepperonis that have kind of soaked through the dough are going to act like an additional layer of seasoning. All you have to do is wipe it out, throw it on your stove, heat it up for 5 minutes, and it's clean. Okay? You don't need to add soap and water to this pan now. So just wipe it out, throw it on your stove, heat it up, and scrape off the other bits. You're ready to go for your next cook. All right? You do not need to use soap and water on this pan right now. Now, if I were to make a steak or chicken or anything like that, I would use a chain sponge if I got a bunch of burnt stuff stuck on it, and I would clean it with soap and water, and then add a layer of beef tallow, just a tiny bit of beef tallow, and then put it on my stove, spread the beef tallow around, heat it up for about 5 to 10 minutes, and when we're ready to go again, then it's clean. So that is how I take care of my pans. If I'm seasoning my cast iron, I've got a whole nother video for you coming up very soon. So I'll explain that later. But I use beef tallow, in case you're wondering.
I would have liked it a little crispier, but that's okay. Now, another thing I'd like to do is just take a little bit of
I'll link to my
garlic
beef
powder.
tallow.
Yeah, like if it
video I
was
just
me
made.
making this pizza, what I would have done is that after I put the tomato sauce on, I would have put a layer of pepperonis on the tomato sauce,
like that
and then
idea
I
a
would have
lot.
put the cheese on, and then I would have put another layer of pepperonis on the on top of the
Yeah,
cheese.
ain't no rules. That's what I'm
Like
talking
I
about.
think that's the that's like whenever I've ever had double deep dish pizza or deep dish pizza, that's usually how they do it.
Was that on purpose? Did he just Freudian like that, like totally on purpose, and made it look like it was an accident? Because I don't even think he doesn't even go back and recognize that he said what he just said.
You can use garlic salt if you like.
Sure.
A light, and by light I mean really light.
You can go as
dusting
much as you
of
want,
garlic
but
powder up top.
I like it
We're
with
gonna
a
let
little
it
light
rest, just
dusting.
like we would a steak. Put the microphone right up to this. Hear that?
That's good. That's good.
Start
Yeah.
in the middle so you don't ruin your crust. Oh my God, the smell of
The
this
aroma
is
is
so good.
For the people that have made this, they know.
There
The
we
aroma
are.
is just it hits
roughly
different.
around $6.
Oh, my grandma just texted me back. So, gosh, I don't know. It's the only one I have ever owned. I don't remember when I first had the need for one. Fair enough.
$7 in total ingredients.
Yeah,
that's pretty
Which piece
good.
do I want? My God.
And like I said, we would probably save almost $1 if we went with a block of cheese and shredded it.
Oh my goodness. Hey, remember how
Somebody
I was
said that it was raw. It was absolutely not raw. This dough was like 205 degrees when I temped it. That is not raw. Let me tell you. It was very well done. And another tip that I did that is a great tip to do that I kept seeing is the great part about this kind of pizza is if your crust isn't crispy enough when you pull it out the oven, but everything else is done on top, just throw it on your stovetop and crank the heat up and let it cook from the bottom up. And that will help to give you a little bit more crust on the bottom parts of your pizza. It's a great tip and very effective.
talking about those particles of yum.
Yummy.
I like to see that.
I do.
Okay, let's try
It's another
the fried
level of
cheese
flavor.
crust
It
side.
really is.
It's just another level.
So that look, a lot of people were commenting on that look. That look is me reenacting a meme that I saw where a lady was like, "This is my husband every time I take off my shoes." And then she takes off her shoes and then it switches to a seal floating by in an aquarium going like this. That's where that look comes from.
Not that his was bad, because obviously it wasn't.
wasn't.
I was quite impressed with it.
Yeah.
That's easy. That's an easy, cheap, homemade pizza.
It is.
I did end up cooking the pizza 10 minutes longer than I anticipated.
Yep.
Depending on
I have a grill. I could do that.
You can.
I could do that
your
pizza.
time and
He does it on
temperature
the grill.
from there, but
Oh, I hope.
I wouldn't go above 450. 450 was perfect, it seems. And the amount of time that he cooks his pizza for an hour in his roaster,
I have a
cook
charcoal
mine
grill.
under an hour, make mine and cook
So
mine
good.
in under an hour. So, food
So
for thought.
I'd have
I
to
don't know.
like
give it a try.
manage
Do you
it
want
in
me
a
to
different
come
way.
to Austin?
Yeah, so I'm going to make a video on my tips for working with a charcoal grill. I'm not a professional at it, but I've gotten really, really good at it with the Wildfire Grill that sponsors my channel. So I'll create a 10 tips for cooking with charcoal and how to control it. It's all about airflow. I mean, it's as simple as that. There's little levers and you just open and close those levers to control the heat. And once you get that down, it's so easy and so good. Nothing gives flavor to food more than charcoal, in my opinion.
And cook for the whole OTK crew. Wouldn't that be fun? I'm rambling. What did I
He
think?
seems so stressed out when I just called him out there. So I didn't mean to call him out like, hey, I want to come down there and cook for you guys. You know, I would really like to. So many of you have commented a beergr and OTK cooking thing would be great, and I am totally down for that. I think it would be so much fun. Obviously, it would be, you know, a lot of coordinating to go with, but I'm down whenever. Okay. Now I'm self-employed, and my workload for my job is crazy right now, and it's been getting crazier, but I will make it happen if you guys want it to happen. And by you guys, I mean you, the subscribers, as well as obviously those people over at OTK.
It's great.
That would be
What else do I have to
crazy.
say about this?
Would be
I don't know,
crazy.
I'm sweating.
I think
can
you
tell
know what I
that.
should do?
It's hot. Probably hotter.
I should try to make this
Let me
pizza
know what
myself.
you think. Hit me up in the comments. As always,
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thanks for watching.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that way you get the full experience. See this right here? This is how you should eat my pizzas.
Look
Just
at how
like
happy
that.
he is. I'm glad I made him so happy there.
What's he watching?
So this is a lot of people commenting. Some said Nausicaa, some said a couple other ones. This is Porco Rosso. It's great. It's great. It's just great. A lot of people asked about the music, whether they liked it or hated it. Some people really liked it, and they asked where I got it from. So I use, and this is not a sponsor, I use audio.com. That's AUDIIO.com. That's where I get the majority of my music, with the exception of some of the popular music that I've used in my videos lately. That is at licked.co, which is just the worst domain name. Like, why did they decide to call it Licked? It's LICKD.co. I don't know where that came from, but whatevs. They've got some great music there, and it's they clear the copyrights, so that's cool.
Just like
You
some
have to
90s
laugh at
anime.
yourself, right? You know?
It's hentai?
And now it was like 90 degrees this day. I just got done making his pizzas and cooking mine on the grill. I was already sweaty. So this was a very light blanket that I threw on myself for this, but I was sweating so bad underneath it and trying to control the cameras and move it all around. And yeah, I was a sweaty mess under there while eating his pizza. And this is my dog. He is 9 or 10 years old. We adopted him quite a few years ago. His name is Winston Churchill the Beagle. He is a wonderful dog, and he is unlike any other beagle known in the history of beagles. He doesn't bark unless we get him howling. Like if we like he'll totally go balls to the wall in Baru with us. Other than that, he does not bark. He'll sleep until noon every day if we let him. He is afraid of any noise. Like if there's a loud bang somewhere, he'll go and stay underneath the bed for as long as he can until we have to go drag him out. He's an amazing, amazing little creature, and we love him. Yeah, good boy.
I actually do have, yes. The answer is yes.
Yes.
I do have a... Dude, this music is so extra. Like,
I love his reaction to the music as I turn the volume up. Look at how happy he is. Dude hasn't been this happy in a long time, right? Come on. Look at the look on his face right there. That is just pure and utter joy.
it's like... Bro, this is like the music that you play after you
He's
rescue
so
people
right
off
about
of
this.
like their fucking lifeboats of the Titanic.
Yep.
And you're fucking, you know, bringing them back on the shore.
Drying them
You,
off.
you know, like getting them dried off. And like, yeah, they play it at the very end. So I'll say this. There's a big part of me that wants to actually go and try to make that pizza.
I hope it's
I want
the
to try
biggest
to
part
make
of
that
it.
pizza exactly the way that he did it and see what it's like. Because I could do that. Like I
Anybody
have
can do it,
I have
as
the
we've
fucking
proved.
pot or the pan for it. Excuse
so
me. I
he
have
has
one
a
of those
cast
cast
iron
iron
pan. Yep.
pans. I have the grill. Now I can't maintain it at 450 degrees,
can't.
so that would be problematic.
I'll do a video.
And I could get obviously like all the other ingredients. That'd be no big deal. And you know, I think that'd be a good idea. Too much work, bro? Not really. It's like an hour.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal.
not a
Add
lot
the
of
bacon
work.
bits. No, I would do it exactly the way that he did it. And then maybe if that was good, I would try to do it my own way. Because like if it was me, this is what I would do differently, right? Is that I would do another layer of pepperoni on the very outside. And then I would also do a... because like obviously, and here's the reason, right? Is that... Okay, so basically... you have the same amount of pepperonis, but like you're gonna be eating it in more bites because the pizza is thicker and there's a lot more to it. So you want to have pepperoni in every
This
bite.
pizza will fill you up like no other. I promise you that. If you want to get your money's worth and get a full belly and feed your family and your family looks at you and calls you a rock star cook, make this pizza. Because some of the messages that I've gotten, and I'll go over these in a little bit because they're just too good not to share. Some of the messages are like, my wife thinks I'm a rock star chef now. I made your pizza. Love it. Like, that's just so humbling that I made this silly little deep dish pizza and you guys love it so much. It's so easy to make. It just, you know, it just warms your heart, right?
And so I would add in more pepperoni for that
add it.
reason. I'd
There's
also
no
put
rules.
pepperoni between...
A few videos ago when I did his steak video, I made the comment that there's no rules. And some people, it's just the trolls really, that were like, of course there's rules. You want to cook chicken to 165. That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about when you're creating whatever you're creating, there's no rules to the ingredients that you want to put into it. There's no rules to, if you want to put lemon on, I don't know, a radish, whatever it is, like just do it and find out if it's good, if you like it. Like there's no rules to that kind of stuff. So yes, that's what I meant by there's no rules.
The tomato sauce and the cheese, and then I would have a second layer above the cheese.
I like it. I like that idea.
And
a
then
lot.
I would put the bacon bits on top of the pepperoni. That's what I would do. The only problem is that like maybe I wouldn't be able to do that though, because if I put the bacon bits on top of the pepperoni, they might be too exposed to the heat, and because of that, they would just get cooked so much.
So, now to answer this question, he's right. Now, especially if you're buying those pre-made bacon bits that come in the little jar, those are dried out bacon bits. They're good, but they have so many preservatives in them. They're really dry. They would most likely burn up for the full length of the cook time at 450 degrees. Now, if you wanted to use those, just put them on in the last 5 minutes of the cook. Easy peasy. They would get the heat. They'd add the flavor to the cheese, spread that flavor around because, as we know, fat spreads flavor. It distributes it throughout your mouth when you eat it. It distributes it around the food when you cook it. So just put it on the last 5 minutes. If you use like real bacon, if like you were to fry bacon in a pan or cook it in your oven, however you like to make your bacon, air fryer or whatnot, you could do it that way, and I bet it would last longer to the heat because the fat is there. There's no preservatives drying it out, that kind of stuff. So you could try regular bacon, and I bet it would be great for the full length of the cook.
It would lose all of their flavor and they'd be too hard. So maybe I'd have to put them underneath the pepperoni. I don't know.
I don't know that I would put them underneath the pepperoni because then they would soften up and you'd get more like a chewy bacon. Yeah. Maybe some of you like chewy bacon. I like crispy.
But yeah, they would burn. Yeah, I think I'd have to do that. No, this video is fucking amazing.
Thank you.
Like,
very much.
I'm so glad. I like after watching the fucking Mizkif video, I'm so glad that he actually did it right.
There was a trick.
Like he actually did the right pizza. It's because it's so easy, right? It's so fucking easy, but nobody can figure it out. Yeah.
A lot of you
Those were
figured it out
so
'cause you're
good. I'll
commenting.
give you guys a video. This guy also did a review of my steak. Make sure to give it a like.
Thank you.
This video is amazing.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, there you go. He did your steak right too? Yeah, exactly. Do a collab with him, do a cooking show. I'd be down maybe for something like that, but I think the first thing I should do is try to cook one of these things myself.
Agreed.
Because he also made a different type of steak than I did. And I would be willing to do that too. Take him up on a chef offer? Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, dude. Hey. To grab the WoW cookbook and do cooking streams with it. Me and Train and S-Fan did that back in the day.
I think that sounds fun too. Prepare yourselves, but I've never played WoW. I've seen it being played. Looks fun. It's just I never gave it a try. I would actually enjoy taking a look at this cookbook and seeing what I would do with it. Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy. I've loved it since I was a kid. But Final Fantasy and the Final Fantasy 15, they did some cooking, right? Didn't we do cooking Final Fantasy 15? Hopefully I'm remembering that correctly. I think we did. And then in Fallout 4, I love Fallout 4. There was a lot of you could do cooking in all the Fallouts, but some of the recipes were crazy. You could put them together. So no, I'm not going to cook a mole rat, but whatever, you know. Anyway, I'm rambling.
Pizza Hut would have one like that. It was like $1,000. You want to make one of 20, right? But it's pretty good. Yeah. Try and make your own burrito. Oh, I know how to make burritos. That's no big deal. My mom would make me burritos back in the day. These are the foods that I can make. Okay.
This is great, and one of these threw me for a loop. Hamburger.
Steak. Pizza.
I just made a cheeseburger video.
Corned beef hash. Hot dogs.
It's the corned beef hash. That threw me. That came from left field for me. That is something I never would have expected him to say. For whatever reason. Like that, I just never would have expected that.
Is there anything besides that? Tacos. Potato. Eggs. No, I can't make eggs. No reason to make eggs.
Why?
You don't need those. Spaghetti, nope. Cereal, nope.
You don't need those. There's no eggs are incredible. I love eggs. We eat eggs every single day. I put them in so many different recipes. Have you ever had a cheeseburger with a runny egg on top? Dang. No, he probably wouldn't like that because it's messy. But man, does it take a burger to another level?
Cheese, nope. Sandwich, yeah, I can make. Pastrami sandwich.
Does he make his own pastrami, or does he pull it out of a thing?
Lasagna, nope. No chicken. Why would I make chicken? We have KFC. Why would I do that? Like, how can you improve on perfection?
That cracks me up. Why would I make chicken when we have KFC? To be honest with you, I used to really love KFC. Something changed there with their chicken, though. A lot of people call them headless chickens. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but it's all GMO chicken. But like, I really love fried chicken. Like, really, really love fried chicken. And I did a video a little while back, I'll link to you in the description below, where I made a 0-carb fried chicken out of pork rinds. And yes, it is a little bit greasier, but the flavor will blow your mind. Oh my God, it was incredible. If you're doing like 0-carb or gluten-free or anything like that, try my pork rind fried chicken recipe. You will be pleasantly surprised, and you'll never miss fried chicken again.
You have KFC. Like, why would you do that? Salmon? No, I can't make salmon. Bacon? I could probably make bacon.
Yeah.
Although I would probably struggle a little bit with it. But I know how to make bacon. I can actually make beef jerky, too.
I would love to see his beef jerky video.
Make tacos next. Nope, next one I want to make is the corned beef hash, and then it's going to be pizza. Then it's going to be tacos, and then I might do beef jerky after that.
When?
Quesadilla? Oh, bro, I had a quesadilla today. Yeah, I ate a quesadilla today. Actually, no, that's the quesadilla from 2 days ago. Quesadilla from today is down there. It's on the floor. Nothing healthy? I think beef jerky is very healthy. I think steak is very healthy. Pizza is healthy. Tacos
I'm not so
are healthy.
Sure how healthy the
all of these
are.
things are very healthy. What do you mean? What's so funny? Like, look. Is beef jerky healthy?
Okay. All right, we're going to stop it here. This has just blown my mind, this whole entire saga. I didn't want to overdo it. So I hope you know that if you get to this part of the video. I didn't want to overdo it by reacting to this, but it seems like the majority of you wanted that. But I hope fast forwarding through my cooking parts and just reacting to him reacting helped the few of you who didn't want me to react to this, because I feel like there's a lot of questions. There were a lot of questions here in his video from him, as well as in the comments, and I hope that I was able to answer all those questions for you. If I didn't, hit me up in the comments below. I'll do my best to respond. There's so many comments. I'm still trying to respond back to a lot of those comments from the other pizza videos. So I'm trying. So yeah. So that's it. And I'm going to showcase a couple of the people who have been making my pizzas. If you make any of the recipes that I have on my channel, hit me up on my Facebook or Instagram, or just tag me in a post and send me those pictures, because I want to celebrate what you've done to get in the kitchen and make your own food, because I just love that. It gives me energy, and I hope it provides energy and courage to anyone who may want to get in the kitchen more. So here's a few people. Now, this is Derek. Derek messaged me on my Instagram page. Here's his deep dish pizza. It looks phenomenal. This guy, look at this one. Look at this crust. That's a big one. He's got some fresh basil on there. This is Gavin. We've got, oh, that's a steak I made. This is, who's this one? Marty. This is from Marty. Look at this one. Looks really, that looks like he did a half pep, half cheese kind of sitch. Yeah, look at that. It looks awesome. This one looks incredible. This is Matthew. Now, he made another one that he sent me to. And this is tomato basil sauce, pepperoni, mozzarella, portobello, mushrooms, peppers, black olives. This looks dynamic. That is an awesome looking pizza. Here's another one from Jeff. Here's another one from Jonathan. Here's one from Brady. Here's one from Kevin. Here's one from Jose. Check out Jose's pizza. I mean, look at this. He bombed this city so dramatically. I mean, dang, that's awesome. And, oh, there's Bourdain. So, and then here we've got another guy. Now, this guy comments on every single one of my videos. The most thought out, long comments. They're wonderful. But he made my Mexican pizza. I'll link to that video in the description below. Look at these pictures. Fantastic job. Now, and then we've got this guy here. I mean, I could go on for so long about this. It's just, it's amazing to me. This is Hollow Synergy. I'm not sure what his name is, but there's his pizza there. Just a fantastic job. I love this so much. If you make any recipes, hit me up in the comments. Say, I made that, and I'm going to send you pictures. I want to see your pictures, and I want to share them, and I want to celebrate you on my community page. So hit me up in the comments. As always, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.